In this episode, guys, we're going to be talking about some of the most powerful and very best AI tools used for sales.
The thing that I have to say when we talk about AI for sales is that talk about a full transformation of an entire process, industry, mindset, just the entire psychology and experience for sales, for me in particular, has completely transformed with artificial intelligence. And when I say that, I really mean pretty much 99% of it. And that last 1% where it's you connect with someone, you make a connection, you have to get them to trust you, and there's a contract, getting them to the close. I'm not seeing AI doing anything with that per se, unless it's some like self-checkout experience. But just generally speaking, for lead generation, for prospecting, for nurturing, for like real qualification and moving down that sales cycle, artificial intelligence has changed it. I can really quickly summarize, I think, the top 3 or 4 pieces of technology that have just changed my experience. One of them has been ChatGPT. So, copywriting, script writing, idea generation. It's a no-brainer to start in ChatGPT. Everyone should just grab a free account and just start to use that. The 4.0 model is a really good place to start. But if you want to elevate your experience a little bit more with AI from a writing perspective, the apps that I recommend are, number one is Ira from Dub. We've spent a long time building that technology that is going to help you to improve your copywriting, generate scripts, come up with ideas. What's cool about Ira is that it allows you to add your AI profile. What is your tone? What is your call to action? What is the information about you and your profession and your company? What are some of the common objections that you receive from people? What are those really interesting sales-focused questions that you can preemptively answer so that the copy that gets generated is very specific for you, with your call to action and your booking link and your entire sales experience. So it's not going to be a generic experience. So I recommend that people check out Ira from Dub. The next one that I think is worth mentioning is Jasper, which is a writing tool. Now, I would say that this is more for blog posts. One of the things that obviously we all should be doing is just generating copy. So if you are doing long form copy on your blog, you might want to check out Jasper. That's another one that's, I think, interesting. And then I would say there was another little tool that I started to use, which I don't think is perfect for sales, but it was a really interesting indicator to see what technology or what AI thinks is an AI-written piece versus a human-written piece, and that was Quillbots. And ironically enough, this is something that teachers are using. Teachers use this to figure out if the students are plagiarizing or if they're using AI to write their papers. So it's not a perfect fit because I don't think your prospects care if your copy is generated from AI. They just want good copy. But I think it was really interesting for me to learn, what AI thinks is AI. And what I learned from that is that the things that determine what is AI writing versus natural writing, human writing, is number one, is there a natural flow to the writing? Is there some sort of an arc where it says it's going to say something, it says it, and then it says what it said, as opposed to piecemeal information? And then the second thing, which I thought was really interesting, is repetitive words. So AI has a tendency to use a lot of repetitive words, whereas human beings might not necessarily do that, of course, unless they're like gaming the SEO system. So I would just say, in your writing, even if you are using AI, recommend that it use a natural writing style with a flow and then not too many repetitive words. That's that idea of just human writing. The third AI tool that I found really interesting that we started using today was Hemingway. Hemingway I thought was a really interesting tool because what Hemingway does is that it grades it based on the level, like the grade, right? So this was grade 12. This is for a 12th grader. Maybe that's too advanced. Maybe we want to dumb it down a little bit to a ninth grader or even a 7th grader. They say there's an old adage, if you know something, you should be able to communicate it clearly and quickly and in the level of a 5th grader. And that way everyone can understand it. If they're busy or distracted or if they have a bunch of things on their mind, it's done in a very palatable way. So Hemingway will literally grade your copywriting in a form that conveys to you that this is easy to understand. And then I'll just throw a fourth one in there, which I like. I use it every day, as Grammarly. It really is for typos and grammar, but sometimes it'll give you a sentence that you wrote and you can just change it on the fly, change the tone, change the vibe a little bit. And that just overall has improved my copywriting. So those are some of the tools that I recommend.
Guys, I want to just bridge the gap for you really quick here because you might be thinking, well, he's talking a lot about copywriting, but This is the future of sales, guys. The days are gone where one salesperson can just load up a list and send a mass email and like go drive a bunch of sales. You can't knock on 1,000 doors. The only way a single salesperson can scale their activities is through content, is through video, is through the production of content like blogs and videos and social posts, because those are what you can do to reach a wider audience. That's what you can do to build a following, build your credibility, build your portfolio, because the days of sending massive emails, those are gone. Like that doesn't work anymore, guys. I can promise you, you could go do the research or even just try it for yourself. Buy a list and go blast something and you'll be disappointed. I promise you that. So this idea of being able to scale yourself up, being able to increase your own efforts, the only way to do that now is through content, through social selling, through video. And that's why we have this focus around the content production, because you can't just put junk out there anymore either, guys, because you're competing with all the creators and the marketers and all the other people that have been doing content creation for a long time. They've been doing that to stay elevated. And so you're immediately getting into this race where people have already been practicing this for years. So that's why creating compelling, high quality content is going to be really important for the salesperson. It's not just the marketing person's job anymore, guys. It's teamwork. Schmarketing is more real than ever before. And so I just want to answer that maybe thing that might be buzzing in your head. It's like, why are we talking about copy? If you're not thinking about copy, if you're not thinking about how to put yourself in front of 1,000 people at once and multiple ways to do that, then you got to change your school of thought here, guys, because that's the future of sales, is how do you replicate yourself and put yourself in front of as many prospects as possible. So
I've got a funny joke. One time I was with someone and they received a message from a salesperson and there was a typo in their email. And they said this. They say, you know what? If this guy can't type without typos, what other mistakes is he making? And what other mistakes is he making at the company? And what other mistakes does the product have? And he clicked the delete button. Salespeople have to be writers.
When you think about, I'm going to throw, everyone like the letter C? Do you like the letter C?
Yeah.
You guys like the letter C? All right, we're going to do a little ABC today. So C's, okay? So concrete, copy equals concrete, which is the basis for most foundations, right? So within sales, it all begins with copy. So there's a bunch of C's that are going to relate to that. So I think with AI, the jump that people are trying to make with sales, that it's already doing this, is convenience. So as human beings, we all like convenience, right? We do. It's just part of who we are. And the convenience of being able to use AI in your writing, part of your sales cycle, makes it incredibly efficient to be able to be convenient. The other part of it is customizing. AI is completely customizable.
Yeah.
AI is this incredibly intelligent sales assistant sitting there waiting for you to educate it. And once it's become educated, then it can really customize on what you want the messaging to be for your niche, your audience, and that is incredibly tailored. So customization is a huge advantage to using AI. And the last C is what, if you're in sales?
Closing.
You got it.
When I think about sales and I think about AI, I think about it's that like 90% of the sales process can be handled by AI now. And of course, human beings have to facilitate the process. That's really important. One of the things that we have seen, which I think is just, it's blowing me away, is this idea of now being able to use AI as your AI assistant. So I have been at the helm of a development company to build an AI product as an AI assistant to help sales professionals deploy their own sales GPT out as a customer-facing technology to their prospects. And I've learned so much on what AI can do to answer questions, to figure out what is this person up to? What is their situation? What's their goals? What are their objections? What would they like to accomplish? And what's so interesting about this perspective is that you never know what people are thinking about. When a person walks onto a showroom floor to buy a car, you don't know why they're there. They could be there for so many reasons. They could have seen a commercial. They could have some nostalgic memory of their dad driving a Land Rover, and that's why they want to get into one. They could want something, a feeling, something emotional. Whatever the case may be, as a sales professional, we need to be able to feel that, understand what this person's thinking, and then give them a really good response. And the problem that we have, I think, with untrained salespeople, it's that classic thing. It's like, I don't know the answer to that question, but I have a clipboard here, and I can capture your information, and then I can pass it off to someone, and they will do the job to go and, educate you and of course, sell you. And that's where a lot of the block happens. That's where a lot of the hand gets raised and it says, you know what, I'm not ready to give my contact information. So I think the way that AI changes this is that it's always providing value. It's never going to ask for your contact information.
Value-based closing.
Value-based closing, you know? And it's really important, I think, to think about the idea that you can't just ask for someone's contact information anymore. You can't just send someone to a page and say, fill out this form or fill out your information out on a clipboard.
You got to give them a why.
Yeah.
You can't just say, give me, give me, give me. There's
Right.
got to be a reason they want to give.
You know, it's a give-get. It's a give-get. And one of the pieces of technology, and really a framework that we've fully adopted and we've implemented into our technology called SIA, which is an AI assistant. It's called the lead framework, which is listen to the customer, educate them, ask if they have follow-up questions, and then drive the close or drive the call to action. Book a time in our calendar, fill out this form, you know, go put your credit card on a checkout page. This idea of the lead format, this lead framework, it's all rooted in value, and that is what customers want. And this is frankly why you see statistics like a 16x increase in a sale if the prospect can actually interact with an AI assistant. 16x increase. So just imagine if you're in sales that your prospect, the person that you want to get on a call, interacted with your, in this case, your SIA AI assistant, and now you have a 16x increase in a likelihood of close. Champagne.
Sold.
Closed.
We covered a couple of complex concepts really sort of quickly. First, we talked about this idea of ChatGPT. You guys should be familiar with that right now. This reversal of it, where instead of you going to ChatGPT and asking questions, you can put ChatGPT in front of your leads and your customers when you're not available, and it can answer questions, book appointments, qualify people. It can do all of that, whatever your sales process is. It can do that while you're asleep, while you're away, right? While it's midnight in a different part of the world or whatever. So that is it's a transition that we're presenting to you guys, this idea of ChatGPT, but it's now your sales assistant that faces your customers, sits in front of your leads, and it's your front line of defense and offense when you're not available, right? If you're there on the phone, great. If you're in person, belly to belly, excellent. But when you're not able to be there, when you're trying to be 100 places or 1,000 places at once, that's where this technology can now be leveraged. It's not like ChatGPT where it's sitting there waiting for people to ask it questions. It's going to sit on your assets that are in front of your leads, and it's going to drive the sale. It's going to drive the lead conversion, the capture, whatever, again, that you're after. That's what it's going to be doing instead of just saying, hey, what do you need? There's another shift that happened here, guys, where just salespeople in general, sales used to be a very like pressure, sort of like uncomfortable situation. And everybody's gotten, savvy to that, and nobody appreciates that anymore. Frankly, like, nobody wants to be hard sold to.
Two companies are doing a really good job innovating in AI, Salesforce and Gong.
Yeah.
What are they up to?
There's two players. One is the well-known space guy, Salesforce, right? They've been investing years into their technology where it's good at forecasting. You can look at your past deals to sort of help predict where your future deals are going to come from, or what activities within your account and your leads, their behaviors that are going to send buying signals that are like, hey, this person did something that a past person did that purchased. Maybe you should follow up with them. So using AI to analyze behaviors of your leads, clients, past clients, that is going to be more commonplace. We're going to be innovating that ourselves, some versions of that. It's going to become, and AI lead scoring is another one that more CRMs are implementing as we speak. People are developing it. So lead scoring and pipeline predictability and things, it's going to be used more there. And then Gong has done a really cool thing where they will analyze our sales calls, our cold calls, our messages, and then tell us, well, here's why the person didn't book or why they didn't purchase, because you totally forgot these points. All of these, though, guys, are based on accurate data. It's all based on every AI. It's all based on how accurate, how the quality of the data in the things that we're using to train the models. So when it comes to these AIs like Gong, like Salesforce, like SIA, it all is dependent upon the quality of the training. Automation, AI, these are the keys of the future, guys. So now's the time. Dive in.
One of the things that I really enjoyed doing was integrating artificial intelligence into our support system. And I realized that, the convergence of service and support and sales is real, and it's imminent, and it's the most current thing that's happening, I think, in the sales industry right now. Service, support, and sales are now one thing. People want support, and that support determines what is your sales efficacy. So historically, what we had on the Dubb website, if you go to dubb.com, you will notice a little chat bubble on the bottom right. And we use a company called Intercom for that. And what they recently launched was a technology called Fin. What Fin does really interesting is that you go and you train Fin as your support bot. And it will go then field questions for people that come to your website, and then it will answer those questions. And then it will always try to get them to click on this button, talk to a human. And then once they click talk to a human, then it goes and triggers a workflow, which allows us to capture their email and then follow up with them. I would definitely recommend that people look into converging support and sales and just getting artificial intelligence as customer facing as you can, because if you don't start now, you're not going to capture your learnings. You're not going to be able to iterate, improve it. We are learning every single day on how artificial intelligence is not only speaking with our prospects and our customers, but how our users as a software company, how our end users are leveraging our technology that they pay for called SIA to go and prospect and nurture and close their prospects. And then we learn from that. So we have two levels of learning, how it's selling our stuff and how it's selling their stuff, our customer stuff. So it's been a really great journey for us.
Come into one of our live trainings, dubb.com/chi. I'm in there a couple days a week with Ina from our team. Darius is in there 3 days a week, and Ruben pops in when he can. And it's all about learning this stuff because it's created, all this tech is created to make your job easier and more efficient.
What's the link?
Dubb.com/T is in training.
We'll come hold your hand. That's literally, we'll come hold your hand. That's exactly what we do in those sessions every single day.
Yeah, and leave a comment below. Like, get a conversation started. You know, this is
ask us a question, man. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, thanks for watching this video. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. And leave a comment. We'd love to know what you want us to talk about next time. Thanks, guys. See you at the next one.
Peace.
Hey, guys.